Hey y'all, hey, good morning. Happy Monday morning to you, and welcome back to another installment of Coffee and Conversations. Before we get started, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel and also this series, Coffee and Conversations. So, this morning, y'all, we are still in Matthew. We are in Matthew chapter 26, and we're going to start our reading in 39, verse 39. But I want to give you some text. So, at this point in the text, Jesus has already had the Last Supper with his disciples. He has already foretold him of Peter's denial. Peter is adamant that he's not going to betray him. Jesus said, "You all will betray me," but Peter, before the cock crows three times, before the cock crows, you will betray me before the night is over three times. You're going to deny me three times before the night is over. So Jesus wants to go and pray. So he goes to Gethsemane and he takes Peter and Zebedee with him. And at this point, Jesus's human emotion kicks in because the realization of what it is he has to do, which is sacrifice himself, has hit him. And he is dealing with that. He is dealing with that. And his human emotions show at this point. So again, he is at Gethsemane and he's there to pray. And so we pick it up in verse 39 and it says, "And going a little farther, he threw himself on the ground and prayed, 'My Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Yet not what I want, but what you want.' Then he came to the disciples and he found them sleeping. And he said to Peter, 'So you could not stay awake with me 1 hour? Stay awake and pray that you may not come into the time of trial. The spirit is indeed willing, but the flesh is weak.' Again, when he went away for the second time, come on, God, and prayed, 'My Father, if this cannot pass unless I drink it, your will be done.' Again, he came and found them sleeping, for their eyes were heavy. So leaving them again, he went away and prayed for a third time, saying the same words. Then he came to the disciples and said to them, 'Are you still sleeping and taking your rest? See, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Get up, let us be going. See, my betrayer is at hand.'" And so, what I initially started writing and took from this text, number one, is Jesus was human and he had emotion. A lot of us try to suppress our emotion and push through um, without realizing that as humans, we're supposed to be able to not just feel, but also express our emotion. If we're hurt, yes, we're supposed to say, "God, I am hurt." If we're afraid, we're supposed to say, "Yes, God, I'm afraid." Jesus Jesus was human in this moment. His emotions were raw. He was afraid. He was afraid. He said, but I didn't read this part of the text, but further up it says, "I am deeply grieved, even to death." He is deeply grieved, even to death. He knows that this is something he has to do, but he is scared nonetheless. But guess what? He did it, and he did it scared. How many of us have a duty to do, have a purpose to do, and we're afraid to do it because we're worried about what could happen, what's going to happen? We don't know what's on the other side of it. And sometimes we got to do it scared and we got to do it blind. But in all of that, we have to do it with our faith. We have to do it in the faith of knowing that if God told us to do it and sent us to do it, there was a purpose. And on the other side, you're going to find out what that purpose is. God doesn't always give us the big picture because the big picture scares us. Right? So sometimes he gives us the small picture so we can see just enough to say, "Okay, let me get this far." And then the picture opens up a little bit more. And let me get this far. And the picture opens up a little bit more. So it's okay to do it scared, but also do it with faith. Do it with faith, knowing that on the other side of that is going to be your joy. It's going to be your morning. Okay. We know that joy comes in the morning. So on the other side of your fear, replace that fear with your faith, keep going, and on the other side of that is going to be your Monday, your morning, right? The other thing I took from this is he said, "But the spirit is indeed willing, but the flesh is weak." The spirit is indeed willing, but the flesh is weak. For me, this speaks so many things. My spirit is indeed willing to take that walk that God wants me to take, but my flesh is weak because I'm afraid of what other people are going to say about me. Or my flesh is weak because I'm afraid of what I'm going to lose when I start this walk. The flesh is weak because even though I know I'm not supposed to drink Um, how am I going, come on, God, how am I going to act around people who don't know that I'm not supposed to drink? Like, there's so many things in our lives that the Spirit is calling us to do, but because our flesh is so weak. Our flesh is weak with judgment. Our flesh is weak with hurt. Our flesh is weak with abandonment, that we hesitate to do that thing that God has called us to do. But I want us to take a lesson from Jesus in this moment, and just know that, um, His will be done. God's will be done, whether it's done today or it's done tomorrow. But if He is calling you to that thing, um, you're going to have to go to your own Gethsemane and pray. You're going to have to go to your own place of peace and your place of refuge, and sit and have a talk with God and go, God, what do you want from me in this moment? God, what can I do in this moment? God, strengthen me in this moment to do what it is you would have for me to do. The flesh is weak. The spirit is indeed willing, but the flesh is weak. So today I want you to empower your flesh and let the spirit take over. It's always that fight between spirit and flesh of doing what you know you're supposed to do versus doing what it is you want to do. And so today I want you to take some time, if you are off today, like many of us are, take some time to read Matthew chapter 26, and read the whole section. Jesus prays in Gethsemane, starting at 36 for yourself, 36 down to 46. So we got 10 verses, and just read that, and then take some time and spend some time with God to figure out what that means to you. What is that thing that your spirit is willing to do, but your flesh is holding you back from? We all have that. Have one of those things, two of those things, or a few of those things that are keeping us, fleshly things that are keeping us from doing the thing that our spirit has been called to do. So with that, you all be blessed. Thank you again for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. If you are off today, please take this day just to spend some time with yourself and spend some time with God. There's nothing wrong with getting to know yourself on a deeper level, because if you don't know you can't expect anybody else to know you, right? But I want people to start getting to know you, the God in you. How about that? It's the God in me. Let people get to know the God in you. So you all be blessed. Have an amazing, amazing week, and I will talk to you later.